All right, so let's take a look at the first one. Like I said, a lot of this is going to be review. I'm just going to write the formula out because this is nothing but review. Draw a random triangle with a certain height. I have, it could be 10 or whatever, and a certain base. Call it B. Who remembers the area for that? Now it's been a long time. A. Close, very close. Okay, she said base times height. Good. Then you got to put a 1/2 in front of that. All right. The good thing about these is a lot of it just knowing the formula, which I'm going to let you use. All right. You can use it on quizzes and tests for these. All right. Because when we get into volumes of solids, like the area of a cone, that's really hard to remember. No one should be required to remember that if it's just a straight formula plugging into. So any questions on area of a triangle? It's simple. I mean, this is just review. Should be in your notes way back when. This might even be simpler. I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Now, by the way, got a question for you. Are all rectangles squares, or are all squares rectangles? All squares are rectangles, yes. So the area of a rectangle is the same as the area of a square. Let's say this is the length, all right? And this is the width. Does anybody remember what the area of that is? Yep. I was thinking today about how all this is relevant. Well, if you're ever going to lay floors down, your room is more likely to be a shape of rectangle, and you want to figure out how many square feet you need. You need to know this formula. And plus, you need to know what the cost of per square foot of the flooring is, right? It can go anywhere from 99 cents to, I've seen it up to $7, $8. Maybe more than that, depending on if it's commercial or residential. Okay. This one you might not know. However, it's very easy to prove. Parallelogram just means it's got, okay, let me try that again. It's got two sides that are parallel. All right. So that means these two sides are parallel. I'm just going to put 2 dashes there. And then these two sides are parallel. I'll do 3 dashes. Does anybody know the area of this? It's actually easier than you might think. Let me go ahead and just label, let's just, I don't know how to label this. Okay, let's just call this A down here. And let's call this B. You can do X and Y, it doesn't matter really. All right, give you a hint here. I'm going to draw 2 lines like this. Okay? And it's going to form 2 triangles. Okay? Any ideas now? All right, let's keep going if you still don't see it. All right, I'm going to take those 2 triangles and do my best to draw here. First of all, I'm going to take this shape that we have on the inside. So let's do this rectangle. I'm going to draw it down here. And then I'm going to take my 2 remaining triangles and go like this to make a bigger rectangle. Okay? Yeah. Now, if you notice something, the base of this new rectangle is just going to be A. Okay? It's literally just going to drop down. It'll have the same base as the original parallelogram. 1 second. All right, what about the height? Okay. So we know the base of that is A, right? What about the height? Well, for parallelograms, you pretty much have to know the height. So if we go to the original height of the original parallelogram is going to be the same. The height of this rectangle. Okay, so it's just going to be, whoops, I meant to do the big A. Sorry about that. Okay, or you can just say base times height if you want to. The label the base B. Oh well. Anyway, there, parallelogram is just base times height. Now you can figure this height out if you don't know it. We're not going to do any problems like that, but you know you've got a right triangle here, and you can do a few things to figure out what this is. Okay, trapezoid. What's the difference between trapezoid and parallelogram? Draw it, and then you can kind of tell me what you think.
It's not parallel.
Two lines are parallel, and the other two aren't. Okay. It doesn't have to be exactly this way, but in this case, base 1 and base 2 are parallel. Those other two are not. All right. I'm going to label my bottom base B1, base 1. I'm going to label my top base, base 2. Okay. I'm not going to do too much detail on this. It's going to take a while. The proof, however, is kind of similar to the one we just did. Okay. So if you take these two pink triangles that I just drew and put them together, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to put my first one over here and my second one right here. All right. Can anybody tell me, this is a little tricky. Can anybody tell me how you would label the base down there of the new triangle? It would actually be the big base, B1, minus the smaller base, B2, would give you this base right here. So B1 minus B2. All right. Now you can also see that the height of this new triangle is going to be exactly the same as the height of the original, H. Now we have a triangle. We just talked about the area of a triangle. What is it? Okay. All right. Now we have to still take into account the rectangle that we left over with after we cut those two triangles out. What would be the area of that rectangle? Be the area of this rectangle right here. It'd be B2, right? Times height. B2 would be the length of this rectangle, and H would be the height of it. Length times height, so B2 times H. All right, so if we add these two areas up, we will get the area of the trapezoid. And I'm not going to actually do that work. It's going to take more steps than we really have time for. It's just H times B1 plus B2 over 2. If I had 2 1/2, that'd be 1/4. That would be right. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody gets this copy. So it's just the height times the average of the bases for the trapezoid. Okay, going back to the steps. Okay, I'm just going to go decimal. So say the bottom is 10.3. Now remember, you have to know the height for these, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the height is, let's see, about 7.9. Remembers the formula for this? Just look at your notes. What is it? It's base times height. That always fascinated me. Whoops, I wrote that wrong, color-wise. Base times height. Always fascinated me how it's so simple. But again, that's because you can rearrange it to make a rectangle. All right, so I'm just going to plug in 10.3 for the base and 7.9 for the height. And we get 81.37. That's all you have to do. Let me go a little bit step further here and just do some units here. Let's say this is inches. Okay. What would your answer be? Good. Inches squared. Area is square units. Like we said before, square feet of a floor or whatever. In this case, it would be square inches. Go back and see what I got. 81.37 square inches. And the way you write that is you do IN and then you just put the square above it. If it's volume, it's cubed. All right. If it's surface area, it's squared. Any kind of area is squared. When we do surface area of cones or prisms or whatever, it's squared. All volume is cubed. Of course, we know the fourth dimension exists. That's to the fourth power, right? Time. No, I don't know. I don't know what the fourth dimension is. I have no clue. All right, any questions on that? All right, let's do a trapezoid. Then we'll be done. Give you the worksheet. Okay. I realized when I was doing this that, you know, a trapezoid doesn't have to be symmetrical. So let's draw one that's not. It doesn't matter, actually. The formula still works. You can still create that new triangle, those two new triangles, or that new triangle and a rectangle, and you'll get the same area formula. Okay, so let's say the bottom is 23.7 feet. Okay, and the top is, I'm trying to eyeball this, 14.9 feet. And you do have to know the height, so let's go ahead and just do that. Let's do 6.7 feet. Even though you're given 3 different feet, your area is still not going to be cubed, right? It's going to be squared because we want to find the area. So let's write that area formula out. Again, it's just the height times the average of the bases. So it's h times b1 plus b2. Whoops, I wrote that wrong. Over 2. Doesn't matter which one's b1 and b2, it makes no difference. I usually make b1 the bigger one and b2 the smaller one. It really won't matter. Make sure you understand, though, that the 6.7 is the height. All right. What was that, 14.9? Yeah, 14.9, right? Or is it 14.1? Okay, 14.9 plus 23.7, all divided by 2. I'll show you how to plug this in. It's easy. All right, first, you're just going to do your 6.7. Then you're just going to select a parentheses like that, okay? And then you're going to plug in your 14.9 plus 23.7. All of that, you can do all of it. You don't have to do just the whole thing divided by 2. 129.31. Label it what? V? Oh, feet squared. Yes, feet squared for your units. So that's the area of this trapezoid. Not everything's rectangular, right? You might have to figure that out one day, on the shape of what you're dealing with. All right, that's pretty much it. I'll give you the worksheet. We'll go over the answers at the end of the class period.